coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin Roll International Coin Channel. Today we're going to take a look at some coins from the Netherlands, some Dutch coins, and we are going to look at the 1988 coin set. There is the 5 cent, the 10 cent, 25 cent, 1 guilder, 2.5 guilder, and 5 guilder coins from the Netherlands. Now let me put these down on a kind of lower level camera mount, and let's work through them. In 1988 was the first year that they had the 5 guilder coin, at least since I believe the early 1900s when it was gold. So in 1988 they reintroduced the 5 guilder coin to the Netherlands, and the point of doing that was to try to get rid of some of the paper money notes of the 5 guilder notes. And so in the early 80s they said, let's get rid of the 5 guilder notes, but they had so many of them that they kept using them. They stopped producing the 5 guilder notes in the early 80s, but it wasn't until 1988 that they went through their stock of them and kind of moved to the coin. So this is the coin here, and it's a beautiful coin. It is a bronze-plated nickel, much the same color as some of the euro coins. The engraver was Bruno Ninnebar van Iben, and of course on this side here, which is the back side or the reverse, it just says 5G and then the year, but it also has a couple other things here. And down here we have a Caduceus, which is the sign for the Royal Bank of the Netherlands. A Caduceus in the United States is traditionally associated with hearing. You see these kind of winding around a pole, and sometimes you see these at doctor's offices. It's really a Roman symbol with 2 serpents twined around a herald's wand, and Hermes or Mercury carried it, the god. And then over here we see an anvil and a hammer, and that is the mark of Jean de Jong, and he was the head of the mint from October of 1980 to 1987. So in many of the European countries they would have the mint mark on there of the head of the mint. And we see that these kind of filled in squares here. If we tip it up, it's pretty interesting, because what we see on the edge is, let's see if we can tip it right up so you see it says ONS GOD and ZIJ. ZIJ. And so what does that mean? Well, actually when you want to MET, of course. So when you want to figure out what it means, you start with the GOD. Where is that? Okay, so there's the GOD in the edge. So it says, God be with us. God be with us around the outside of the edge, which is the inscription for the Netherlands coins. Now on the front, which we haven't looked at, is a really kind of modern engraving, and this is Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands, and so it says Beatrix Koning der Nederlanden. And this particular coin, when it was introduced, was the highest value coin that they'd had since I believe 1911, but when when they transferred over to euros, this coin was worth 5 guilders. Each euro was worth 2.2 guilders, so this was worth about 2.5 euros almost when they transferred over to euros. So what's the next one down? Well, this had been the largest coin in the Netherlands, a 2.5 guilder coin. And again, you see the same thing on the reverse, same design, same Caduceus, same anvil from the mint, the head of the mint. Now this coin is not a bronze-plated nickel. This is just a pure nickel coin. And this is Bruno Ninnebar van Iben, again, did this coin, the engraving on it. And it, again, was demonetized in 2/28/2002. So 2.5 was almost equal to a straight conversion to the euro. So a euro was worth 2.2. So what they did when they first started introducing the euro was just made this equal to it, essentially, for many merchants. If we tip this one up on the edge, we see the same thing on it. And so we see it says, again, God be with us. There's the O-N-S on the end. And again on the front we have Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands. Now these coins did not, they really got kind of worn quickly. So even though this coin here you're seeing was never really circulated, it because it was a general circulation coin, it came out a little scratchy. And these are very, very, very hard to get in any kind of extra fine or better condition. They're probably worth $1 or $2 in extra fine condition, and you can get them uncirculated, but the proof coins, they only made 20,000 of the set in 1988, so they're very, very valuable proof coins. All right, what's next? Well, of course, the standard, the 1 guilder coin. And we look at the 1 guilder coin, and we see that it, again, is a nickel coin, again, demonetized in February 28, 2002. Same engraver again, Van Iben. In 1988, they made 13.6 million of these. So this one here is probably worth about 50 cents US. If we tip it up, guess what? Same engraving on the edge. God be with us as you go around the outside. Next, we have the 25 cent coin. One of the things that many people don't know is that the Dutch went to decimalization in 1871. So they've always had cents, and they've always had 1 equals 100. They did not keep, say, some of the European or other versions, or the English version where it was 240 pennies to $1. From 1971 on, in Holland it was 1 cent. 100 cents equals $1. Again, we see that this is a nickel coin, again, really shiny. And this coin in 1988, they made 17.4 million. It's probably worth about 15 or 20 cents. Same material as the other ones, except for the 5 guilder. But look at this. We have a reeded edge, and it's not engraved. In part, that's because it's only 1.5 millimeters in thickness. And so because it's a thinner coin than the 1.69 millimeters of the 1 Gulden or Guilder and the 2.25 millimeters, they just couldn't really get the edge engraving on there. And then we get to the front, and we see it's, again, Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands. Next, we have the 10-cent coin, and this is just a really small coin. It's really interesting how tiny it is. If you look at it in terms of the other coins, you'll see that this is the 5 guilder. This is the 2.5 guilder. And then, of course, this is the 10-cent coin. Same mint marks on it. If we tip it up on its edge, we see that it has, again, the reeded rim. And then if we flip it over again, we have Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands on the front. Now this coin, what in the United States we would call a dime, again was demonetized in 2002 with the coming of the euro, and they made 2.2 million of these in 1988. So this is the most expensive, or one of the more expensive of the coins we're looking at. This is worth between 25 and 50 cents. They're just not quite as many of them around, and for whatever reason, and in part because they only made 2.2 million. I think that was the lowest year ever for the 10-cent coin, 2.2 million in 1988. And then finally we have the 5-cent coin. And what we've done is we've flipped back over again to a bronze coin. So we've gone from starting with a 5 guilder, a bronze-plated nickel, to a 2.5, 1, 25 cent, and 10 cent of nickel, and then we've gone back to a bronze coin for the 5-cent coin. And this coin was made from 1982 to 2001 in this design. If we flip it up, we see that it has a smooth edge, and again, Queen Beatrix on it. has much the same look as a United States penny or 1 cent coin, or some of the British coins that were made of, or UK coins that were made of bronze around that time. And this coin, the 5 cent coin, they made 22.6 million of these. Again, it's worth 10 to 50 cents United States. All right, that's all we have for the DC Coin World International Coin Channel Netherlands coins from 1988. But let's put them all up there and let's just take a look at them all again. We have the 5 cent, 10 cent, 25 cent, no 50 cent coins in the Netherlands. The 1 guilder, the 2.5 guilder, and the 5 guilder coins. Have a great day from DC Coin World International Coin Channel.